Welcome to the stories on Echoes of Revenge. Step into a world where love turns dangerous, revenge feels inevitable, and every story drags you deeper into the shadows of desire, betrayal, and the human heart. Let's begin today's story. The real estate listing appeared on a Tuesday morning. Premium 240-acre certified organic farm, established infrastructure, $3.2 million. Excellent investment opportunity. I was staring at photos of my barn, my fields, my greenhouse, the farm I'd built over 15 years, when my phone rang. Ms. Chen, this is Robert Martinez from USDA Farm Service Agency. We need to discuss your subsidy payments and a property listing that's come to our attention. My stomach dropped. What listing? Your family has listed your farm for sale, advertising the organic certification and citing family ownership as justification. However, our records show you're the sole registered operator and subsidy recipient. We need clarification before Monday's scheduled closing. I pulled up the listing again. There it was in the description. Family agricultural operation, certified organic since 2015, USDA Conservation Program participant. My mother had listed my farm without my consent, and she'd used my federal certifications as selling points. Mr. Martinez, I never authorized this sale. I'm the sole owner. My mother doesn't have legal authority. We're aware. We've flagged the listing for subsidy fraud investigation. Federal agricultural subsidies are tied to specific operators. Unauthorized sale claims violate program requirements. We're contacting law enforcement. I'd purchased the land in 2009 for $340,000. A foreclosed property no one wanted, depleted soil, broken fencing, a collapsing barn. I was 28, fresh out of agricultural school, and everyone said I was crazy. I'd spent 15 years rebuilding. Soil restoration. Organic certification. Conservation programs. USDA subsidies for sustainable practices. I'd built a profitable organic operation supplying 3 farmers markets and 2 restaurant chains. Last year's revenue, $680,000. This year's projection, $840,000. My mother had dismissed it as playing in the dirt for 15 years. Now she was trying to sell it for $3.2 million. I called her directly. Mom, why is my farm listed for sale? Oh, Emma, don't be dramatic. It's family land. We need liquidity for your brother's restaurant investment. You'll get your share. It's not family land. I bought it. I own it. My name is on the deed. Technically, yes, but we helped with the down payment. You loaned me $15,000 15 years ago. I paid you back in 2012. Well, family assets should benefit the family. Daniel needs capital. You're being selfish. Mom, this is federal crime. The USDA called. You're advertising organic certification and conservation subsidies I earned. That's fraud. Don't be ridiculous. We're just selling property. Property you don't own. I'm calling the police. Emma, if you make trouble over this, you're out of this family. I hung up and dialed 911. The ghost ledger, what family cost? Financial costs. Down payment help from mom 2009, $15,000. Repaid in full 2012 with receipts. She still claimed I owed her. Daniel's emergency loans, I'd provided, $32,000 over 8 years. Never repaid. Family labor I'd paid for, $48,000 over 10 years for Daniel and mom to help during harvest. Work I could have hired professionals to do better. Expected discounts on produce. Lost revenue of approximately $15,000 annually because family paid wholesale prices for retail produce. Total, $95,000, plus the emotional cost of building something alone while being told I was playing in dirt. Emotional costs. Every family gathering. When is Emma getting a real job? My organic certification achievement 2015. Mom said, that's nice. Daniel's restaurant opened? Full family celebration. My farm's profile in Organic Farming Magazine 2021. Dad said, we didn't read it. Daniel's failed food truck got daily Facebook posts. The pattern. My success was invisible. My assets were communal. My work was dismissed until it had monetary value they wanted. The county sheriff arrived within 90 minutes, followed by a USDA investigator and an FBI agent specializing in agricultural fraud. They found everything in Mom's home office. Forged power of attorney documents claiming she had authority to sell my property. Marketing materials advertising 15 years of USDA conservation subsidies, and certified organic operation. Email correspondence with the real estate broker. My daughter won't cooperate, but I have ownership authority as family matriarch. A purchase agreement with a corporate farming conglomerate, closing scheduled for Monday. Financial projections showing Mom planned to keep $2.8 million, giving me $400,000 as your share of family assets. The USDA investigator Sarah Park was thorough. Ms. Chen, these subsidy payments, $180,000 total over 10 years, are tied to your personal operator registration. Your mother advertising them as transferable assets violates federal agricultural program regulations. This is subsidy fraud. The FBI agent Marcus Webb added, the forged power of attorney is federal wire fraud. The interstate marketing of fraudulent property claims adds additional charges. And attempting to sell land with falsified ownership documentation is real estate fraud. What happens to the farm? I asked. You retain ownership. The listing is removed immediately. Your mother faces federal charges. The buyer, did they do due diligence? They're a corporate farming conglomerate. They wanted the organic certification and subsidy history. They'll face scrutiny too. Buying agricultural land with fraudulent subsidy claims is a federal violation. The prosecution built quickly. Mom had created an elaborate scheme, forged power of attorney, falsified family trust documents, and marketing materials explicitly advertising my federal certifications and subsidy payments as transferable assets. She'd convinced the real estate broker she had authority by showing the forged power of attorney and claiming family agricultural operations allow flexible ownership structures. She'd negotiated with the corporate buyer by promising seamless transfer of all USDA certifications and conservation program eligibility. None of it was legal. Federal prosecutor Robert Martinez was direct. Mrs. Chen attempted to steal and sell property she didn't own, fraudulently advertised federal certifications she didn't earn, and forged legal documents to facilitate the theft. She did this to fund her son's restaurant investment, showing clear financial motive. Mom's attorney argued, Your Honor, this is a family dispute. Mrs. Chen believed she had authority based on her original financial contribution. A $15,000 loan repaid in full 13 years ago. The judge interrupted. That doesn't grant ownership. Ms. Martinez, what are the charges? Wire fraud, real estate fraud, forgery, and USDA subsidy fraud. We're recommending 8 years federal prison and $500,000 restitution. Mom's face went pale. My brother Daniel, sitting behind her, looked at me with pure hatred. I felt nothing but tired. The trial lasted 2 weeks. The evidence was overwhelming. Deed records showing I was sole owner since 2009. Bank records showing I'd repaid Mom's loan in full by 2012. USDA documentation showing 15 years of my personal operator registration, conservation compliance, and subsidy eligibility. Forged documents in Mom's handwriting. Email chains showing she knew she didn't have legal authority but proceeded anyway. The purchase agreement showing she'd negotiated to keep 87% of sale proceeds. My testimony was brief. I bought this land in 2009. I restored the soil, earned organic certification, built the infrastructure, and established the customer base. I did this alone while working 2 jobs for the first 5 years. My mother dismissed this work as playing in dirt, until it was worth $3.2 million. Then she decided it was family property. Mom's attorney asked, But didn't your family help with the farm over the years? I paid them. Market rate for seasonal labor. I have payroll records. Didn't your mother's initial investment make the purchase possible? She loaned me $15,000. I repaid $18,000 with interest by 2012. I have receipts. But don't you feel family should share in collective success? I feel family should respect property rights in federal law. My mother didn't want to share my success. She wanted to steal my assets and fund my brother's business. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. Guilty on all counts. Judge Thomas Morrison sentenced her to 6 years federal prison, 3 years probation, and $425,000 restitution covering my legal fees, lost revenue during the legal battle and damages to the farm's reputation. Mrs. Chen, the judge said, you didn't just commit fraud against your daughter. You committed fraud against federal agricultural programs designed to support sustainable farming. You exploited your daughter's 15 years of work for personal profit. The sentence reflects the seriousness of these crimes. Mom was led away without looking at me. Daniel followed her out, whispering loud enough for me to hear. I hope you're happy. You destroyed this family. I didn't respond. 6 months later, I stood in my greenhouse, reviewing orders for spring planting season. The farm had recovered. Revenue was back to projected levels. I'd hired 2 full-time employees and expanded to a 4th farmer's market. The USDA had flagged my operation as a model for small-scale organic agriculture. They'd asked me to speak at 3 conferences about sustainable practices and conservation compliance. My phone buzzed. A text from Daniel. Mom's in prison because of you. Family doesn't do this to family. I deleted it without responding. Later, my farm manager Carlos asked, You okay, boss? Yeah. Just family stuff. The family that tried to steal your farm? That's the one. He shook his head. My abuela says, family is who shows up when you need them. Blood is just biology. Your grandmother is smart. That evening, I walked the property line, checking fences and irrigation systems. 240 acres of restored land. 15 years of soil building, crop rotation, pest management, and conservation practices. Every inch of it built by my hands. Mom had called it playing in dirt. She'd been wrong. This was building something that mattered. Something sustainable. Something that fed people and restored land and proved that small-scale organic agriculture could be profitable and environmentally responsible. This was my life's work. And no one, not family, not corporate buyers, not anyone was taking it from me. I pulled out my phone and drafted an email to the Organic Farming magazine. I'd like to write about my experience with agricultural fraud and family exploitation of farmers. Small operators need to know their rights when family members claim ownership of their work. Then I looked at the sunset over my fields, at the soil I'd restored from depleted to fertile, and felt something I hadn't felt in months. Peace. Mom would serve 6 years. Daniel would continue blaming me. The rest of the family had stopped speaking to me entirely. But the farm was mine. The land I'd bought, restored, and certified was protected. And the USDA subsidies I'd earned through 15 years of conservation compliance would continue supporting the work I'd built. Family had tried to take it. Federal law had protected it. And I'd learned the most important lesson. Sometimes the family you choose, your employees, your community, your fellow farmers, matters more than the family you're born into. Carlos was right. Family is who shows up. Blood is just biology. And my farm was finally, truly mine.